If you saw a dog lying in the road, you would probably stop. But if a mosquito landed on your arm, you might kill it before you even looked at it. No debate, no guilt, maybe not even a memory of doing it. Both are animals. Both are alive. So why does one death feel serious while the other feels like nothing happened? The simple answer is that your brain does not judge every animal equally. Before you make a moral decision, it sorts the animal into a category. Pet, food, pest, dangerous, cute, disgusting, useful, worth saving, easy to kill. Once a small animal is placed in the wrong category, your brain can reach a verdict almost instantly. Not guilty. Size matters, but it is not the real answer. A butterfly is small, a ladybug is small, a hamster is small. Many people would carefully carry them outside or feel bad if they crushed one. A cockroach can be roughly the same size, and the reaction changes completely. So the question is not just how small is it? The question is, what does this animal mean to you? Humans build an invisible ranking of animal lives. Dogs and cats are usually near the top because we live with them, name them, touch them, and learn their personalities. Other animals are treated as food, tools, wildlife, or pests. Psychologists call one part of this speciesism, giving different moral value to living beings partly because of which species they belong to. The ranking changes across cultures and homes. A rat can be a pet in one place and an infestation in another. The animal does not change. The category does. And categories change guilt. In one experiment, researchers found that describing an animal as food reduced how much mental ability people gave it. That lower perception of mind was connected to lower moral concern. The logic is uncomfortable but simple. If an animal has less of a mind, then it appears less able to suffer. If it appears less able to suffer, harming it feels less serious. We do something similar with small animals. We rarely imagine the private experience of a fly or an ant. We see movement, wings, legs, and a body. We do not easily see a personality. That is partly because humans are better at reading animals that look and act in familiar ways. A dog has eyes we can follow. It cries, hides, shakes, and looks toward us. We can quickly build a story about what it feels. An insect gives us fewer signals we know how to read. Its face may not change in a way we recognize. Its eyes can look mechanical. Its movement can be fast, repetitive, and unpredictable. When it is injured, it does not scream like a mammal or show a facial expression we understand. That makes it harder to see a victim. Research on mind perception shows that the more we believe another being can experience pain, fear, or pleasure, the more likely we are to give it moral protection. This is why one short sentence can change your reaction. There is a bug on the floor. Now change it to, this is a female beetle searching for food before returning to her eggs. The second version creates an individual. It gives the animal a goal and a life outside the moment you saw it. The first version gives you an object to remove. Appearance also matters. Humans respond strongly to features linked with babies. Large eyes, round faces, large heads, and soft body shapes. Researchers call this baby schema. Those features can increase perceived cuteness and attract attention in both human and animal faces. That is why a puppy can trigger an immediate urge to protect it. Some small animals benefit too. Ladybugs are round, bumblebees are fuzzy, and butterflies are colorful. Cockroaches, fleas, mosquitoes, and ticks do not get the same advantage. Cuteness is not proof that an animal feels more pain, but your brain can treat cuteness like proof that the animal matters more. Then there is disgust. Disgust is not just a random feeling. Scientists describe it as part of a disease avoidance system. It pushes us away from things associated with contamination, decay, bodily waste, parasites, and infection. Many small animals appear exactly where that system is most active. Flies gather around waste. Cockroaches appear in kitchens and drains. Ticks attach to skin. Mosquitoes drink blood. Maggots suggest decomposition. The reaction can happen before you identify the actual danger. Empathy says, do not hurt it. Disgust says, get it away from me. Disgust is often faster. A study of reactions to arthropods found that disgust towards some of them aligned with the way people respond to pathogen cues. In other words, people may react to certain insects almost like they are contamination with legs. That does not mean every insect in your home is carrying a deadly disease. It means the brain often uses a rough shortcut. Small crawling thing near food or skin equals possible threat. Once the animal feels like a threat, killing it can feel defensive instead of aggressive. A mosquito is not presented as a neutral animal. It is something about to take your blood. A tick is not simply walking. It may attach to you. A cockroach is not visiting. It may signal that more are hidden nearby. Self-protection gives the action a moral excuse. Language makes that excuse even stronger. Compare these two sentences. There is a mouse in the kitchen. The house has a rodent infestation. The first sentence describes one animal. The second describes a problem. Words like pest, vermin, parasite, infestation, and invasive turn individuals into categories. You stop thinking about one living body and start thinking about removal, control, and numbers. It is easier to kill a category than an individual. Naming can also matter. A named animal becomes an individual. A large unnamed group becomes a quantity. One mouse can look frightened. 100 mice become an infestation. The group hides each individual inside it. Social rules finish the job. If someone kicked a dog in public, people would react. If someone swatted a fly, nobody would stop the conversation. Accepted behavior does not feel like a moral emergency. You learn these categories early: which animals sleep in the house, belong on a plate, need protection, or should be crushed. The lesson feels natural because it is old. But there is one problem. Feeling no guilt does not prove that no harm occurred. So, do insects actually feel pain? Scientists separate nociception from pain. Nociception is the detection of harmful stimuli, such as dangerous heat, pressure, or tissue damage. A nervous system can detect damage and produce an escape response without proving that the animal has a conscious, unpleasant experience. Pain is the subjective experience. It is the part that feels bad. We cannot ask an insect what it feels. Researchers look for indirect evidence, specialized receptors, connections between the body and brain, learning, long-term changes after injury, flexible self-protection, and trade-offs between avoiding harm and gaining a reward. A major 2022 review examined evidence across 6 insect orders. It did not claim that every insect definitely feels pain like a human, but it found more evidence consistent with pain than the traditional view of insects as simple reflex machines would suggest. Bumblebee experiments are especially interesting. In one study, bees chose between feeders with different sugar rewards. They normally avoided feeders heated to a harmful temperature, but when the heated feeder offered a better reward, their choices changed with the situation. That kind of trade-off suggests more than one fixed reflex. The bees were balancing danger against reward. Another study found that bumblebees selectively groomed an antenna after it was touched with a noxiously hot probe. The behavior depended on the brain and was directed at the affected body part. None of this gives us a recording of an insect's inner experience. Scientists still debate what these behaviors mean. Insect nervous systems are very different from ours. Evidence varies between species, life stages, and types of study. The careful conclusion is not, insects definitely suffer exactly like dogs. It is also not, insects feel nothing. The careful conclusion is that there is serious uncertainty, and some insects show neural and behavioral signs that make pain scientifically plausible. That makes our confidence strange. We are often completely sure the animal does not matter, even when science is not completely sure the animal feels nothing. Still, this video is not saying you must let mosquitoes bite you, ignore disease risks, or allow pests to take over your home. Protection can be necessary. The point is that guilt is not a scientific instrument. It does not measure another animal's capacity to suffer. Guilt is shaped by appearance, familiarity, fear, disgust, language, social rules, and the speed of the moment. Your brain acts like a courtroom that makes decisions before the evidence is complete. Dog, individual. Butterfly, beautiful. Bee, useful. Cockroach, contamination. Mosquito, attacker. Verdict, not guilty. The strange part is not that humans protect themselves. The strange part is how quickly a living animal can disappear behind a label. Maybe small animals do not feel less important because their lives are smaller. Maybe they feel less important because their lives are harder for us to recognize.